What's up, everyone? Welcome to Gridiron Island. I'm Lewin Smith, and we are your football escape. We're just beginning a very long off season, and frankly, we don't get enough football. The seasons are so short, the off season are so long. It's like having a very short break, smack dab between a long 8-hour shift. We just don't get enough. So that's why we are here. We are your football escape, your football destination. We love football. I love watching it. I love talking about it. Tried playing it, didn't work out. But a lot of the content here is going to be opinion based. Some you may agree with, some you may not. But that's what opinions are, and I'm always open to a great debate. So feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section. I try to go through as much of them as I can. Who knows, I may have a segment based on something that might catch my attention in the comment section. Like I said, a lot of the content is going to be opinion based. We're going to talk about everything football, from off season to the NFL Combine to the free agency to the NFL draft, college football, NFL, XFL, you name it, we cover it. Betting on games, point spreads, totals, and more. So I hope you guys enjoy the content, and for our very first episode, I want to talk about Trevor Lawrence versus Zach Wilson. And I'm going to jump right into Trevor Lawrence. He's that guy that you want in your quarterback. He checks all the boxes. He comes out as clean as a prospect that you would want. He checks all the boxes. He's a tall guy. He's athletic. He has a cannon of an arm. He's a gamer. He's a winner. He's a leader on the field. He's done it all. He's proven. And as a freshman in Clemson, he completed over 65% of his passes, 3,200 yards, over 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, leading the Clemson Tigers to a 15-0 record to a national championship. And he was very impressive as a freshman. He did it all. He checked all of the boxes, and he's as clean as a prospect as you want. Like I said, he's that guy. He is number one, hands down, number one overall pick. He's that guy that everybody talks about. He was a star from high school, and he's been pretty much a celebrity a long time. He followed up that freshman year kind of slow in his sophomore season. He started off his first 7 games, he had a 14 touchdown, 8 interception ratio. Some began to question his ability. Some was saying maybe it's just a sophomore slump, but he responded in the next 7 games where he had 7 or 8 games where he had a 22 touchdown, no interception ratio. He was on fire the second half of that second season. He completed that season 65.8% completion percentage, 3,600 yards, almost 3,700 yards, 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, with a 14-1 record. Back in the national championship game versus that LSU Tigers team that has to be the greatest college football team ever. It was a game that I was expecting a great one, a shootout. You have 2 high-profile quarterbacks. You have Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Tiger King, Joe Exotic. See what I did there? LSU Tigers, Cincinnati Bengals. Nope. Okay. Joe Burrow and that national championship LSU squad. They were they were it. They were the team. Trevor Lawrence was very average in that game. Matter of fact, he was below average. He didn't look good in that game, and followed that up in his 2020 season. He had a 69% completion, 3,153 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 9-1 record in 10 games, 2 he's missed, and he finished his career with a 66.6% completion, over 10,000 yards, 90 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Finished his career with a 38-2 record at Clemson. He was great. He was great. But is he overhyped? To me, he's overhyped. And some people may be taken aback by that, but hear me out. You know when, let me use this example. So you have that new movie that just hit the theaters, and you have that new restaurant that just opened. Everybody is talking about it, and they're talking about it so much where it's like, I have to try this, and your expectation is now up here. So if you even got this much, you're kind of disappointed. That's kind of who Trevor Lawrence was for me. Everybody's talking about this can't miss guy. He's this, he's that. Like I said, he was the talk of the town coming out of high school. So my expectation was up here. He gave me this, but it left me with a slight disappointed feeling. So he was great. He was that guy, but it wasn't. My expectation was already to a point that if I got anything less than spectacular, I would have been let down. And I wouldn't say that he wasn't spectacular. He just didn't wow me. He didn't. He did everything he's supposed to do. He was a great leader. He was a winner. And I can't deny the talent. The talent is there. Everything is there. He checks all the boxes, like I said. But if we dive deeper into it, I want to go back to the national championship win over the Roll Tide. Now, that's a great accomplishment for a quarterback at any level in their college career, because you're going against a Bama team that's successful year in and year out. You have a legendary coach in Nick Saban. But for him to do that as a freshman, I tip my hat. I tip my hat to him. He showed great poise. But that's where I was most impressed, was his poise as a freshman quarterback. To go against a juggernaut and show tremendous poise and he led that team. He did his thing. He had 347 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was great. But thinking about that game, was he the best player on the field? Now, I watched that game not just for Trevor Lawrence. I watched it because it was the national championship. But I had heavy attention on Trevor Lawrence, what he was going to do. What I got in that game, just a AJ Terrell interception to start it off, the first score of the game. AJ Terrell, pick 6, touchdown Clemson. I got some Trayvon Mullen, 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble on a sack where he forced the fumble, recovered by Clemson. Both turnovers led to short fields for the Clemson offense. I got me some Travis Etienne, 14 carries, 86 yards and just 14 carries, 2 rushing touchdowns and a touchdown reception. I got some T. Higgins, 3 big catches for 81 yards, a touchdown. I got some Justin Ross, 6 catches, 153 yards, a touchdown. Between Ross and Higgins, they accounted for 234 of Trevor Lawrence's 347 yards. I got a lot of busted coverages from the Alabama's defense, which is something you don't usually see in a Nick Saban-led defense. And again, I want to get back to Justin Ross. He had a couple of spectacular catches where I was like, wow, that's a great play by him, more than it was a great play by Trevor Lawrence. I got some Christian Wilkins. I got a complete Clemson football team. I got offense, I got defense, I got special teams, where the special teams show up on a fake field goal and they made the stop on Mac Jones, try to get a first down on a run. I got everything from Clemson. They were complete. They were the best team. They were the best coached in that game. Everything clicked for them on all cylinders. They totally dominated the Alabama football team. Hats off to Trevor Lawrence. But he was, to me, not the best player on that team, on that field. He wasn't. And when you talk about a guy who's a can't miss prospect, he has to be the best player on that team and on the field. Let me go on to the two losses. He lost to, like I said, the LSU Tigers football team in the national championship. In a game he did not play well. He did not play well in that game. He lost this year to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl, and in a game that his stats were better than his performance. And it's like, you notice a trend that whenever he is outmatched, or whenever the Clemson football team is outmatched by their opponent, he doesn't show up, as he doesn't elevate the Clemson team to be at least competitive versus a superior opponent. I didn't get that from him. And that's what you want in a can't miss prospect. That's what you want in a number 1 overall pick. And if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I look at those kind of things. I'm picking first overall. I'm picking first overall for a reason. We were 1-15. We need a guy that can elevate our team, because at the end of the day, as it stands, we suck right now. So we need someone that's going to come in and be the best player on our football team. And that's a lot to ask for a rookie. But when you're evaluating the leader of your football team for the next 15 plus years, that has to be one of the things that you look at. Hands down. Some things that stood out to me also for Clemson: the 2 games that Trevor Lawrence missed. He was replaced by his backup. He was out because of COVID-19. 2 games, the backup came in and he played well. So it really made me wonder, can anybody just come in and succeed with this Clemson football team? Now let me switch gears to Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson, to me, was the best player on that BYU's football team. And maybe he didn't have that Trevor Lawrence effect by the media, where everybody then set my expectations up to here. Maybe that was it, but I got to see Zach Wilson from my own eyes, and I was impressed. And funny story, I really ended up watching him because I was betting, and I noticed that BYU were covering point spreads. It was like they could have got a -50 point spread and they would cover. So it was like I was paying a lot of attention to them, and it was like, okay, since they're covering the spread so much, let me check them out. And I got the Zach Wilson guy, who completed 73.5% of his passes, 3,692 yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 254 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. This guy carried his football team. He was it. He was it. And what stands out more to me is that he steps up in big games. When he is outmatched, he becomes the best player on the field, despite what's going on around him. Now, we had the Coastal Carolina game, which some people may have felt like that was a blemish in his evaluation, but to me, that was a plus. That was a plus. That Coastal Carolina team wasn't just some Sun Belt Conference football team. They could have gone in the SEC and had that same record. They lost just one game, and that was the final game to Liberty, who was also a one-loss team. They were legit football teams. You could have put, like I said, Coastal Carolina in the SEC and probably lost just one game, and that may have been to the undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. And that's okay. Listen, the Crimson Tide, the Roll Tide, was that team this year. And if that was just the one game they lost, I'd salute them. But this Coastal Carolina team was legit. They were a football, all-around football team. Great defense. And that game, if you look at just the numbers, Zach Wilson seemed pretty average. 19 of 30, 240 yards, one touchdown, one pick, which came on a Hail Mary at the end of the half. You can't be mad at a pick that is on a Hail Mary, time expiring in the half. You can't be mad at that. And he also had 10 rushing for 55 yards. He was the best player on that team. Ironically, he was Patrick Mahomes, the guy who he's being compared to right now. He was Patrick Mahomes in the previous Super Bowl where they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were outmatched. Patrick Mahomes is under constant pressure, and he continually had to make plays off script. He did his part, receivers dropped, there were penalties by the offensive line. Nothing more Patrick Mahomes could have done. Zach Wilson, same thing. The opening drive, there would have been a touchdown pass by him, got called back by a holding penalty, and that was gut-wrenching. They end up punting on that drive, and that was pretty much the story of the game. When there was a play to be made or a big play, he stepped up. There were receiver drops that was frustrating. They were very frustrating drops. There were penalties that were also frustrating. Let's talk about the final drive of that game. 55 seconds, no timeout, deep in his own territory. Got called for a holding, so it's now 2nd and 19. He had to make a play from his own end zone, completed a pass to the 41-yard line. Led BYU down the field 17-22. 55 seconds, no timeouts. Led them down the field for the game to be ended on a stop at the 2-yard line, which was pretty similar to the Super Bowl with the Rams and Titans, where the Titans would stop on the 1-yard line, time expires, Rams won. He answered the bell. He was that dude. He stepped up in the most crucial moment of a quarterback, and he did what he could have done, the most that he could have done. He stepped up in the bowl game versus UCF. He was very impressive in that game as well. 26-34, 425 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. So he was responsible for 5 touchdowns in that game. And he, like I said, he was that guy. Unlike Trevor Lawrence, when he was outmatched, he stepped up. In the big game, he stepped up. He was that dude. He's a stud. And if we go back to the comparisons, Trevor Lawrence being Andrew Luck, Zach Wilson being Patrick Mahomes, who are you taking? I know I'm taking Patrick Mahomes all day, every day. Give me Patrick Mahomes over Andrew Luck. So it's not to say that Zach Wilson will or will not be the next Patrick Mahomes. It's not to say that Trevor Lawrence will or will not be the next Andrew Luck. But when we're talking about prospects, give me the Patrick Mahomes. Give me the Zach Wilson. I'm taking that every single time. Listen, it's the reason that Andy Reid moved up to number 10 overall to select Patrick Mahomes over Deshaun Watson. With an Alex Smith they were successfully getting to the playoffs year in and year out. Alex Smith was a very good quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs at the time when Andy Reid decided that this is our dude for the next 15 years. So if I look at a prospect like that, I'm excited to work with that. So if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, like I said, I'm picking first overall for a reason. I need someone that's going to come in, and it's not to say that Trevor Lawrence may not have a good rookie year. He may have a successful individual year. He may put up great individual numbers. He might end up winning Offensive Rookie of the Year on a 2-14 team, a 3-13 team. But if I'm going to roll the dice, I'm rolling the dice with the potential next Patrick Mahomes. Simple. That's the guy that I gotta go with. So let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like the content, subscribe. There's got to be more content like this. Like I said, I love a great debate. So let's debate, let's talk about it, and see you next time.